Welcome back. Now, as we are in 2025, setting clear financial goals and effective budgeting strategies is essential for achieving financial stability. To gain insights on how individuals can navigate their finances, we'll speak with an accredited financial coach. Now, during our conversation, we'll explore practical budgeting techniques and goal-setting methods that really empower individuals to take control of their financial futures. We're now joined by Joana Mushongo. Joana, good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
Welcome back, I should say, actually.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's get right into it, Joana. What budgeting methods do you, recommend for individuals starting 2025? Somebody that has, never put their finances in the spotlight, never tried to budget or save, etc. Where do you start?
Okay, so before we go into the method and the strategy and the stuff, I think the first question that one needs to first reflect on is, when you hear the word budget, what comes to mind? Mm-hmm. What feelings comes up? So the answer to that question will determine whether you're winning or not winning with your budget. Mm-hmm. So what I mean is, if I ask you now, what comes to your mind when you hear the word budget? And you say, it's punishment, mm-hmm. it's sacrificing. Mm-hmm. So even if I give you the best strategy in the world, you won't be able to stick with it because of what the feelings that you have and the emotions that you have around it. Right. So first, one needs to first get over that, and that's where a financial coach will come in, where you can work with them and try to bring up the change that you want before you can now go into the strategies. Yeah. So if that's out of the way, and then now we look at the strategy. So what I recommend, if you have never done budgeting before, mm-hmm. so there's 4 steps, I think 5 steps that you can follow, right? So the first step is make your money list. So a money list is basically you listing what you spend your money on, just the words, mm-hmm. food, petrol, all the words that you spend your money on, right? And once you have done that, step 2 is now you allocate the amount that you spend in a month. So for fixed expenses like your rent, your debt, you'll be able to know that. Mm-hmm. But for variable expenses, there's where you pull out your bank statement, your 1 month, 3 month, whatever that you prefer, and then you get to an average of how much you spend. Right. So for each category, you then now put the amount that you spend, mm-hmm. right? And then step 3 will be asking yourself, so how much do I earn? So for people that are salary employee, that's easy. We already know how much comes in.
That's fixed every month.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you have side hustles and so forth, most of them, they don't really know, because money comes in every day, bits and bits. So you need to know how much is it in total. Mm-hmm. And then step 4 is what I call tears and tissue stage. Mm-hmm. So this is where you now take the total that you earn and you subtract what your expenses are. So it's tears and tissues, because this is where most of the people realize
they're in a minus.
Yes. Then they need tissues.
Yeah.
And then after that, you can now, before you go now to because when you get into a stage where you realize you are overspending, your income is 20,000, your expenses is 40,000, the first thing that you want to do is you want to already go into and start, solving and, solution mode. But don't do that. So after that, you must first now look at, okay, you categorize your total expenses, right? All your bills, you allocate a B, mm-hmm. right? So your bills would be, if you don't pay it, a person will come at your door, knocking at your door, asking for their money. Right. So you put a B. And then the second category will be, for every bill that is changes based on your utilization, you put a UB, like your electricity, your water.
So bills that fluctuate from month to month.
So the reason for that is to just show you how much power and control that you have. Right? So, and then the third category is you put a C, which is your choices. This is now your food, things that you choose how much you want to spend. So the reason of categorizing, you'll see, okay, where is my money really going? Right. Do I have an income problem, mm-hmm. or a spending problem? Right. Then we can go into solving and stuff. Right. But you do that, and then you can now look at the different budgeting methods, where the main ones is your pay yourself first budget, your zero-based budget, and then you have your 50, 30, 20 rule budget. Mm-hmm. But at least we understand where we're starting from before we explore now.
You mentioned something right in the beginning, and you said talked about feelings coming up when you look at your finances, for the first time. I want to know why you mentioned feelings. Is there a connection with how your attitude, I suppose, your mindset, feelings towards money and how you spend it?
Yes, yes, exactly. You see, behavior, the way we behave is based on how we feel. So emotions drive behavior, right? Have you ever had a person that goes shopping when there's stress?
Yes.
Right?
We say window shopping, but we don't stay outside the window.
So, and that's the emotion behind the behavior drives the person to do whatever that they're doing. But the biggest thing is now they believe. So there's another layer, right? So you have your behavior, what you're doing. Basically, you have your results at the bottom, what you are achieving. And then that's driven by your behavior. And your behavior is driven by your emotions,
right,
how you're feeling. And then the emotions are driven by the attitude and your belief. So what you believe about budget, for example, will drive how you feel about budget. If I believe the budget empowers me to achieve my goals, then I'll be excited to do a budget. So the feeling is different when you believe budget is a punishment compared to when you believe budget is a tool that's actually helping me.
You, Now, once I've categorized, as you've said, I've looked at my budget, I've, put everything in order, looked at how much income I have and what my expenses are, what are the next steps to effectively, set and prioritize my financial goals for the year?
Okay, so now we have put that out of the way. So the next step is, remember we have put all the B's and the UBs, right? There was a reason for that. A lot of people have one bank account.
Yeah.
You see, where your money comes in and all your expenses and your bills go off.
Right.
Right? But what I recommend is at least have minimum 2 bank accounts, but I recommend 4. Right? So the reason is you will have your normal check account where your money is coming in. Right? And then you should have your bills account. So this is the account where all your bills, let's say if your money for the bills is 10,000, you take that 10,000 from your normal income account to your bills. The reason is I'm already taking out me deciding whether I'm going to pay this bill or not. It's already in this account, and then it's auto-deducted.
It has its purpose.
And it goes, right? That's your bill account. And then you should have at least your saving account, your sinking fund, so that when you go swiping, you're not swiping your savings. You're not swiping back to school money and January comes and then you stress, right? Then you have your savings account. And then if you now are in a position where financially you are able to invest, you need to have a goals, an account where you're saving for your goals or investing later. So I recommend 4 accounts. So that's your normal income, where your income is coming, and then your bill, and then you have your sinking funds, which is now your emergency and stuff, and then your goal, your investments and stuff. And then automation is the new discipline. And when it comes to money, if you're not disciplined enough, you won't win. So automate what you can automate. Like most of your bills, you need to pay Old Mutual every month $200. There's a reason why they have debit orders and so forth. So automate and automate and automate. So it reduces the stress and it reduces you missing, the bill and, people calling you and stressing you and so forth, right?
Johanna, what is a zero-based budget and what's the importance of one?
So a zero-based budget, it says it all in its name, right? So it means whatever you're earning minus what your expenses are need to be equal to 0. So every dollar has a name, has a purpose, right? The most important thing of a zero-based budget is it creates intentional spending, because now you cannot just go and spend the way you want, because everything is allocated. Which category are you taking from when you're going to drink with your boys, your girls, if you don't have that in your budget category? So it does that, and it also eliminates wastage. You see, there are a lot of people where they budget, it's not zero-based. The difference between your income and your expenses, if there is a difference, where does that go usually?
Right.
So we waste it. So a zero-based budget eliminates that, eliminates wastages.
What are some of the most common, budgeting mistakes you see that, clients make?
So the most common one is where 3 days before payday, I do my budget, and when payday hits, I forgot I had a budget, right? And then I go on spending and stuff. So they put the budget there, but they're not even tracking it. They're not even looking at it. The only time they remember there was a budget when the money is finished.
Yes.
So that's one of the most common. And the second one is you have a budget, but your budget is not aligned to your goals. You see, if my goal is to get out of debt, and when I did my categorization and my budget, most of my money is going to entertainment, most is going not to what I want. The chances of me sticking to that, it's not, it's limited because it's not aligned to what you want. So that's why goal setting, it's very, very important for you to know, okay, this is my budget, these are my goals, how do I align the two?
And of course, there's nothing wrong with seeing if your budget doesn't align with your goals, to adjust your goals. They're not written in stone. You can always change them, make it easier for you to get around financially. I also want to know, how do you help clients stay accountable to their financial goals? We're not able to keep ourselves accountable. Does it help to have somebody, walk through the process? How do you keep yourself accountable when you set these financial goals, especially in the new year where you really want to do better with your finances and you want to make sure that you reach, the end goal?
Yeah, you see, let me give you an example. You have a person that works, for a company that's a finance manager, or the company gave them a company credit card. So every time they swipe, they keep the receipt. Why? Because there's somebody at the office that's waiting for you to give your reports of where you spend the money on. So having an accountability partner is very, very important. It helps you to stay aligned to your goals. So what I do is I encourage people, if you have somebody that you trust, if you're married, your spouse needs to be the first accountability partner. But if you're not married, if you have a friend, a money buddy, I call them, have these money conversations, because the road to financial success is not a road to walk alone. So that's why I've created this, webinars and stuff where I train people to kind of create like a community, a platform where a person, if you don't have a money buddy, you can now use those platforms and have accountability partners.
Speaking of your webinars, tell us about it, what you teach your clients, and of course when you'll be hosting your next one.
Yes, I'm hosting the next one tomorrow. So the next one is about budgeting and aligning your budget with your financial goals. But what I'm going to focus on tomorrow is basically the behavior, behind what your spending behavior, the emotions behind your spending behaviors. Like, let's say if a person that have in their category, they have a lot of entertainment, like a lot of money is going to entertainment. And they know that, but they don't really know how to stop or how to say no to their friends. So what I'm going to look at is to look at your beliefs around your behavior. So for some people is I go out with my friends and I buy drinks for everybody because I don't feel, if I don't buy, I feel very little. But the truth is I'm in financial difficulties, right? But outside, I need to put up makeup, I need to put on my mask and be the good, Joana and stuff. So we're going to unpack that. So we're going to look at, once they allocate their categorizations and they say, okay, this is the biggest chunk, that's where the money is going, we're going to unpack that.
And understand why.
The onion, and try and understand why, and then align that to what they want to do.
Fantastic. For somebody who would like to be a part of your webinar, where are you on social media? How can they get a hold of you? Maybe a contact number that you want to give?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Financial Coaching with Joana. I'm on Instagram as well. So there is a registration links all over social media. A lot of people are posting the flyer and stuff. So if you go on those two platforms, you'll be able to get the registration link.
Fantastic. As we're ending off our conversation, Johanna, just one overall tip that you'd like to leave our viewers with when it comes to, budgeting. If you're new at it, what is it that you first want to set your mind to?
So I think first you need to take inventory of where you are. And when I say inventory, it's not just the financial inventory of how much you earn, how much is your debt, your investments and saving. Inventory also of your mindset, inventory of what you believe. Where are you starting from? because that will determine how far you go. So once you have a picture of where you're starting from, then you can go a step further and say, okay, look, what is my desired financial goal, my desired financial state? But we need to know, are we coming from Window, Kurundu, where are we coming from and where are we going, right? You don't just start to go on a road trip and you don't even know where you're starting from. So first, just, sit down with yourself, ask yourself, where am I starting from? What do I believe about budget? Where did that thought come from? If you believe budgeting is a punishment, what did you experience in life that contributed to that thought, right? And then you can try and work it out to align it to where you want to be.
Johanna, it was lovely speaking with you. Thank you so much for being here once again. We look forward to having you back in the future.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that was Johanna speaking to us on finances there. We hope you've learned a thing or two or more. We'll be back after this brief break with some more conversation. Stay with us.